We are just 2 weeks away from UFC 324, and I could not be more excited. This MMA break has been absolutely brutal, but today we are going to be talking about 5 fights that need to happen before 2026 is over. Let's jump right into it. Now, on this list of fights, this is probably the most unrealistic one, but we got Sean O'Malley versus Umar Nurmagomedov. If we're talking styles, striking-wise, this is about as clean as it gets. O'Malley's one of the best strikers at 135. He's got elite distance, he's got elite striking, and his knockout power is for real. Realistically, he's got better ability to control range than anybody at 135. Although he is on a 2-fight losing streak, both of those fights have been against Merab. O'Malley's the main reason why I don't think this fight is going to happen, because he said he wants to take care of Song Yadong first and then shoot for a title shot. So most likely scheduling this fight is going to be borderline impossible. As for Umar, he can match Sean O'Malley's striking. I think it would be an absolute chess match when it comes down to it. As for Umar, I think he'd be all game for this fight. He's one of the top strikers in the division as well. He went up against Mario Batista. He did get dropped, I will say that. He does have some holes in his game for striking. I would say he's a better grappler than he is a striker. But, that kind of comes from being under Nurmagomedov. Just like O'Malley, Umar is very patient. He likes to pace out his fights, but he can also blitz when he needs to. Although he's not as long, he's very scrappy, especially with going for those takedown and clinch situations. Umar hasn't fought that much top talent yet, nor has he fought anyone with much of a superstar name. I would say his biggest name fight is that Mario Batista fight, so putting him up against a guy like Sean O'Malley would definitely boost him up a little bit. I think it's a fight that makes sense. If O'Malley wins, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, this is a fight that you can sell pretty high. Anyone who's in Nurmagomedov is going to sell tickets, and O'Malley has been selling tickets since he came in through Dana White Contender Series. For the UFC, it's a win-win. If O'Malley wins, you can skyrocket him a little bit if he doesn't decide to retire. And if Umar wins, you can send him right up to the top against some of the best guys. He's ready to compete at that level. He's already shown it. This fight does answer some questions for the bantamweight division and sorts things out a little bit, so I would like to see it happen, but it's very unlikely if I were to say. If I had a prediction for this fight, I do see Umar pulling this one off. O'Malley has shocked us over the years, but I think the grappling is going to be a little bit too much for him. I think Umar's striking has only gotten better, and his grappling far surpasses Sean O'Malley's. It's not going to be an easy win by any means, but I think his grappling will really get him over the edge. Another not very realistic but absolutely banging fight that could happen in 2026 is Israel Adesanya versus Michael Venom Page. If we're talking showmanship and striking, I mean, this is about as good as it gets. Both of these fighters bring an entertaining style. They bring out all the emotes and everything like that. And I mean, I don't have to say much about this fight. Everyone knows why this would be a banger. MVP is one of the best point strikers in the world. He understands the game better than anyone else when it comes down to striking. His reads, his timing, his distance management, it's all as high level as you can get, and he's shown it against some of the toughest challenges. He's got that wacky wide karate stance with just explosive blitzes from time to time. He really just needs that one little window to put you to sleep. Now, as for Adesanya, he is one of the greatest strikers UFC has ever seen. During the prime of his career, he had some crazy distance management and elite counter striking, which he still has to this day. The reason why I like this fight so much is because it gives me Adesanya versus Anderson Silva vibes. Now, I know by all means MVP is no up-and-comer, but he entered the UFC a little bit later, and he's climbing the rankings right now, and I don't see why this wouldn't be a perfect fight to make for him next. Adesanya's dropped his last couple fights. MVP's been winning his fights. They're kind of meeting right here. So it's a really good fight to make before it's too late. If we're talking about this fight from a legacy standpoint, for both of these guys, it's a win-win. Also, for the UFC matchmakers, it's right there in front of you. To me, it just makes sense. They're both veterans. They're both respected. They're meeting, like I said, they're meeting right there in the rankings. You might as well make the fight happen. The fight is extremely likely to bring us highlights and even a finish. Now, I'm a huge Izzy fan. If I had to predict this fight, I'm not sure if he would win, but I would definitely take him. I mean, it's Izzy. How could you not love Izzy? Like I said, though, this fight is extremely unlikely to happen. I don't know if timing is going to match up right for them, and I assume Adesanya is probably going to look for a bigger fight to make. The next fight I would make for 2026 is Alexander Volkanovski versus Lerone Murphy. Now, I wish this fight would have been like the actual one that they made. Instead, they went with Diego Lopez versus Volk 2, which, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a banger fight, and I'm really excited for it. I just feel like after Lerone Murphy knocked out Aaron Pico like that, getting knockout of the year, you just make that fight. I don't have to say much about Volk. Everybody knows he's the absolute gold standard of the featherweight division. He's been beating the top guys for years. He reclaimed the belt against a very, very tough opponent in Diego Lopez. He's got one of the highest fight IQs out of any fighter in any weight class, and he's really only lost to some of the best guys in the world. He's an absolute nightmare matchup for anyone at featherweight. The reason why I think this fight is so realistic is because Volk shouldn't retire after this one. He didn't say he had any plans of it, so if he can take care of Diego Lopez, I really think Lerone Murphy's the next guy up. Again, it's a fight that's right in front of you if the circumstances are right. Now, as for Lerone Murphy, I don't understand why there is not more hype about this guy at 145. He's undefeated. He's a clean, crisp striker. I mean, you saw what happened in his last bout.
Pressure. So much pressure. Spinning attack! No way!
I think this could honestly be one of the toughest matchups for Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, this would be a great fight to make. Volk is in his prime, nearly passing it. Lerone Murphy is at his prime, undefeated. He can challenge for the title. It's a great story. You can freaking skyrocket Lerone Murphy to the top as an undefeated champion, similar to what they're doing with Ilia Topuria. I mean, this is going to be an absolute classic. 5 rounds of Lerone Murphy versus Alexander Volkanovski for the featherweight title. This fight would be an absolute classic. You know, like I said in the beginning, you don't have to say much about either of these fighters. You know, everyone knows them. They're both superstars. This would be, in my opinion, the best fight to make at featherweight. My prediction for this fight would be Lerone Murphy by split decision. This next fight that I have on the list is one that I am extremely excited for and I really hope ends up happening in 2026. We got Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Morales. If I'm the UFC, this is the next fight I'm making at 170. Both of these guys are absolute superstars. There's a huge amount of buzz going on for both of them right now. And not only that, they're both calling for a title shot. You got Michael Morales, who's undefeated. He's physically imposing, and he literally gets better every single time he fights. He's huge for 170. He hits like a freaking truck, and his confidence is through the roof. He pressures, he stays disciplined, and when he finds his opening, he hurts people. And then across from him is one of the most talented guys in the division, Ian Gary. Elite striking, great range management, and a crazy understanding of timing and distance. Ian fights at his best when he can dictate the pace of the fight, whether it's fighting backwards or fighting forwards. He seemingly has an answer for everything. I know he's not the most lovable fighter in the world, but no one can say anything about his fighting skills. As a title eliminator, this fight makes perfect sense. You got a fighter who's undefeated, and you got a fighter who only has 1 loss, and neither have fight for the belt yet. This fight will simply determine who the next long-range contender is. Now, for my prediction for this fight, I have bought in heavy to the Michael Morales hype. I felt like an absolute casual when I saw Sean Brady get dog-walked by him. I thought that it was going to be completely the opposite way. Now, I don't know if Michael Morales would finish Ian Gary, but if it was a 5-round fight, it's very possible. Whether it ends up being a 3 or 5 round fight, my prediction is going to be Michael Morales by unanimous decision. This next fight is the biggest fight that could happen in 2026. We got Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. This fight is completely unavoidable. On one side, you got Alex Pereira. He's a 2-division champion, and he's one of the best strikers this sport has ever seen. His calm and calculated style, along with his extreme knockout power at any weight class, is what makes him an absolute nightmare matchup. No matter who the fighter is, one mistake, he's going to take advantage of it, and he's likely going to put you to sleep. He has the middleweight title, he's got the light heavyweight title, and he's got one more to move up for. And this would be Alex Pereira's hardest test yet. Tom Aspinall, one of the scariest heavyweights UFC has seen in a long time. Without a doubt, Tom Aspinall is the most complete heavyweight in the sport right now. Fast hands, real boxing, and legit jiu-jitsu. He also moves like a 155er. Wherever the fight is, Aspinall is technical and composed. What makes this fight so fun is that both of these guys could end it with one shot. From a business and legacy standpoint, this fight is massive, not only for these fighters, but for the UFC in general. For Aspinall, it's obviously massive to beat a guy like Alex Pereira, but for Alex Pereira, a win here would be simply historic. Both of these guys are global stars, and all the fans would love to watch this fight not only happen once, but probably 100 times. Honestly, I don't think this is a gimmick fight. I think this fight is for real. I think Aspinall is about it. I think Pereira is about it, and I think the UFC could make it happen on one of the biggest cards in 2026. Hint, hint, put it on the White House card. The fans want this fight. The fighters want this fight. The UFC should want this fight. Now, if we're talking predictions, I'm going Aspinall all day. I think Pereira struggled on the light heavyweight move up a little bit. He had a hard time with Jan with the wrestling, and I think Aspinall is a lot better at wrestling than Jan is. Personally, I think this jump is going to be a little bit too much for Alex Pereira. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the best fighters in the world, and he's pushing to be the UFC GOAT. But the mix of pressure, striking, speed, just wrestling, overall, I think Aspinall is way too complete for Alex Pereira. If this fight stays on the feet, Alex Pereira definitely has a chance. I mean, he has a chance against anyone if it's on the feet. I honestly see Aspinall taking this fight to the ground, taking care of Alex Pereira there, controlling him, and just using his weight as an advantage. Now, Poetan fans, please don't attack me in the comments, but I truly believe Aspinall is one of the best fighters in the world right now. That is going to be it for my list. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to go to war with you. If there's any other fights that you guys want to see in 2026, let me know in the comments below. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are just 12 days away from UFC returning. No more of this nonsense talking about drama or fights that need to happen. We're just going to get straight to the nitty-gritty. We're going to have some fun, and it's going to be a good year. Thank you again for watching. Follow Combatwire for all of your MMA media needs and highlights, and we will see you in the next video.